Happy Tag Tuesday here at Genre Month with Ridiculous here. I have mishmashed some different people's original tag videos and cherry picked some of the best questions from them. These are all related to uh, pre-adult reading. The first one is called hashtag my perfect YA. It's from at something like Lydia. The question I chose for this was to design your lead protagonist, gender, age, all of that. I don't know what, guys. I mean, even for me, I went a bit weird on this one. I almost immediately came into a hive mind situation where I mishmashed a couple different choices that I had, namely my nebbish, and it's got to be the nebbish. And the nebbish is trapped in there with the ingenue, right? The lovely ingenue that are going to fall in love. And body wise, well, I'll tell you later what that's going to look like. So a really weird hive mind for my YA protagonist. Okay, next we've got Choose Your Own Fancy Adventure. Remember those Choose Your Own Adventure books? Choose Your Fancy Adventure from at Daisy Ex Machina, the Speculative Detective. And the original from this one was a bunch of Bitly accounts, six Bitly accounts. Okay, so this one is a tavern buddy. Name a character with whom you want to have a drink or spend a night on the town. So a couple things came to mind here. One was Frank McCourt. I realize that's cheating a bit since it's a memoir. He's both the author, but he's also the character, and a hilarious character. And we actually have a lot in common. He was a teacher. One of his books was Teacher Man. I read Angela Ash's, and did I read Tiz? Anyway, very funny, so I thought he'd be fun. And then I don't know if he has a drink or not, or if he's teetotal or on the wagon or what. But another is Jim Dixon. Now he's a character, so he doesn't get to be in recovery. He is a campus lush. He's the campus professor who's always getting drunk in Lucky Jim by Martin Amis. So those would be for that question. And then I have a second question for this one, which is found family. If you could adopt one character or give it a home. I was first thinking adopt like a younger thing, but I was like, I'll be young in this scenario. I want to be adopted. So I adopted a mentor, and I chose Merlin. Because how fun would it be to do that, changing in all the different animals and stuff, if you remember from the Black Cauldron movie. Merlin would be either in that cartoon version or in the original weirder version of the actual Celtic Legends. That'd be awesome. Okay, so next we have middle grade book, just middle grade book tag. That's all it's called. And this one is from at Bill Rutenberg. And it originated with Amanda at the Curly Reader. The Curly Reader. That makes more sense. Am I hungry? No, I'm not actually. Okay, so for this one, it says for a middle grade screen adaptation, what middle grade book do you think should be required reading in school? For the adaptations, I've seen Inkheart, I think, would be the one that I like the best. I've seen a few. I've seen Ender's Game. I've seen Charlotte's Web, but I think I'll choose Inkheart for that one. And then what one should be required reading? If I can't have my main choice, I'll go with Narnia, because it does have great messages, and children should know about, at least literarily, about Christian, about biblical literature. Okay, and then what I would really like, actually, is, of course, The Absolute True Diary of a Part-Time Indian by Sherman Alexie, which contains all kinds of heavy issues that some people think middle graders shouldn't be confronting with. However, when I didn't teach this in sixth grade when I taught language arts, I taught Black Like Me, but um, when when I was teaching sixth grade language arts in rural New Mexico, most of my students were already confronted with these issues in their life. So let's not pretend they can't talk about them in a book. Um, okay, so Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Oh no, I don't know what that's about. Okay, next we have comic book. Comic Love is the name of this tag, and it's from at Lazy on 1228. Sorry, that's the originator. Lazy on 1228, and I found it at Remembered Reads, and it says, which comic book would you? The question I picked for this one was, which comic book would you most like to live in? I grew up on the French Asterix, Belgian, but and Tintin, and then the Beano and Dandy from Britain. But I think I would like to be a more adult comic called Too Much Coffee Man. And basically, yeah, I used to play Dungeons and Dragons, and the only other role playing game I've played for a brief time, I did a Marvel superhero type one, which I didn't like because I don't really like superheroes, but that's what the guys wanted to play, so I said fine. But I got to design my own superhero, and I was basically a version of Too Much Coffee Man with all these weird coffee powers of, shakes and, I shake so I can't bullets pass through me or something, and I don't give people diarrhea, whatever crazy this was. But anyway, so Too Much Coffee Man it's a funny, weird adult comic. You can check it out if you can find it. Kind of an indie zine, maybe. Next is favorite childhood book tag. This one is from at Jay Shea, and there's no original given for this one. So this one says, what was the worst book you read as a child? And what one character from a book as a child would you like to meet and become friends with? Well, the one that I would like to meet and become friends with is Siddhartha. So, if you could meet the Buddha, who wouldn't want to meet the Buddha? For a book the worst book you read as a child, I decline to answer. There's no such thing as a bad book. There you go. That's my stance on that. Okay, so why did I pick that question? I should have just left that question off if I'm not going to answer it. That's not very fair, is it? I guess it's because I couldn't really think of a good answer. I can think of bad books that I've read as an adult, but as a kid, kids' books are pretty good usually. Let me think if there was something that I really didn't like. Oh, I don't like horror, so I don't think they had them, but if they had back then had those Goosebumps series, I probably would not have liked that. There you go. I answered the question. My own question. And the last is from a FairyTale retelling tag. This is from at Luminous Libro. The originator is at Brunette Bibliophile. It says, what two fairy tales would you combine for a kick-ass retelling? Okay, here's where it's going to get really weird. I'm going to start as Hans the Hedgehog. Hans the Hedgehog is a half human, half hedgehog. And it's one of your lesser-known fairy tales. And in this one, he wants to, be loved. So he's told that he can kiss a princess, he'll become a full human. So he wishes for a princess. Now, the princess in this is going to be another lesser-known fairy tale called The Girl with No Hands. So the girl with no hands, she's wishing, that she had hands. But because of her having no hands, even though she's an ingenue in that she's sort of protected and innocent and naive, she's not spoiled or any of that sort of royal stuff because of her, her situation. So she wishes to have hands, so she enters the body of Hans the Hedgehog. And we come back to the hive mind, which is now you've got the princess, no hands, Hans the Hedgehog, sharing Hans's body. And while they're fighting, while they're falling in love, while facing all the exterior adventures and conflicts of this story, and also the conflict of being trapped in the one body and how to get out so that they can, divide in order to consummate their love, kiss him and turn him into a full human. And there you go. So it all comes full circle in this strange, strange mind of mine. Hope you enjoyed it. Those were my mishmash of young reader tags. I'll have to come up with a better title for it than that. I think I've covered everything I meant to there. I'll tag some people. Feel free to do this or ignore it if you think that it's not fair somehow resurrecting old tags or mishmashing them in that way. I certainly appreciate that point of view, although no one's made that complaint yet to me. But in my mind, in my intention and in my approach to it, I'm very much honoring those original tags. I think they're great tags, in their entirety. It's just that I'm trying to do a lot of tags at once. And there's been so many great ones in the history of BookTube, and they deserve to have a longer life. So that's the idea here. Let me know what you think, and what two crazy fairy tales would you throw together in your mind? Can you come up with something weirder than mine? See ya.